This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truths channel. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're doing well. We got a barn swallow doing some soups in here. I guess he stopped. Anyway, live stream isn't going to be as long tonight. I got things I got to do tonight. That's why it's early too. But tonight we're going to talk about the combination of Social Security and digital currency. Okay, trying to explain to everybody what digital currency is going to be like. So that's what we're going to discuss today. But since I got to wait for a few moments for some people to show up, let's talk about Beto O'Rourke, the congressman from Texas. Okay, people may think I'm radical on this channel and whatever, okay? But I believe that all Americans should be free. Everybody should be able to enjoy the rights given to us by God, protected by our Constitution. But Beto O'Rourke don't seem to think that way. You know, hell yeah, I'm coming for your AR-15s. Hell yeah. Really? I mean, does he realize the Constitution is law of the land and that he can't just sit there and say, as Americans, you don't have the right to bear arms? Anyway, Beto O'Rourke, Texas, you got a real problem with him. And now he's all going on about this redistricting. Isn't it amazing that they can sit there and redistrict an area so they can get more representation of their party in government? I mean, that's beyond crazy when they have the power to do that. But anyway, that's what Beto O'Rourke, you know, calling California. I heard there's some state that doesn't have any Republican representation. Where was that? Somewhere in the Northeast. But anyway, I mean, redistrict for what? I mean, the American people, anyway, it's craziness, and he's all up in uproar about it. But Beto O'Rourke, like the short I made today that YouTube hates, he's nothing but a fool and a coward. Beto, nothing but a fool and a coward. And you people that live in Texas, I mean, whatever. This is what happens when beta males think they're tough, okay? But let's get on subject, okay? Social Security and digital currency. I'm going to try to explain to people what digital currency is going to be like. Like I say, digital currency will be, the government will be your primary signature on your bank account, and you will be the secondary. Meaning, all your purchases will have to be okayed by the federal government, okay? Or the government. Just like Social Security, right? I mean, you're going to be required to have direct deposit. That means your check's going to go into the bank, okay? And then so you're the one, mandatory, you got to make deposits into Social Security. And the government's in charge of the withdrawals and what you can withdraw it for. I mean, they're in control of it. Would you ever let the government in control of your retirement accounts or your bank account? Well, guess what? They're in charge of it. All that money, the government's in charge of. I know I'd never have a bank account. Like this thing with Social Security, yes, I got a Social Security account, but I'm not going to file for it. There's no way. There's no way I'm going to sit there when I get older and have the government in my house because they think I need money from them just for some green worthless piece of papers. It's not going to happen. Anyway, hey, I appreciate everybody being here. If you'd like to support the channel, I don't sell stuff or take money. So if you'd hit the thumbs up, the subscribe, and the bell notification, I'd appreciate help to get the word out. Okay? But anyway, getting back to Social Security, everybody knows how it's run. And it's amazing. Most everybody on Social Security still got other jobs, right? They're still working. See, that's just a crock of shit. That's the worst investment you can make, and the government forces you to do it. But like I say, that's an account, a financial account you have that you do not have any control over. None whatsoever. The government can cancel it, take everything from it, deny you payments, right? Which I'm sure has happened to a lot of people. And this is what digital currency is going to be, people. Just like Social Security's run. You're going to have I don't know, a digital currency card instead of your Medicaid card. Now you're going to have a digital currency bank card. Well, like I say, when you go to purchase, I don't know, that extra box of ammunition, and they decide, nope, we don't authorize this payment. Of course, that would never happen in this country, right? Like I say, just look at Social Security. All that money you pay in, all that money they take from you, and then they give it to people that never paid into Social Security. But like I say, what say do you have over that money? What say at all do you have over that money? Absolutely none. And when you turn 65, you got to fill out all this paperwork. And then you're restricted on how much you can make anyway. Can't make too much. Can't draw your Social Security and then sit there and have a job making $50,000 on the side. That'd be against the rules. So this is the thing, you want to live on your Social Security. The government, instead of people that never had any type of social services in their home at all, no government in their house at all, no welfare, nothing, right? None. At 65, fill out paperwork to basically start that process at 65 when they don't need it, just because the government needs to be in charge of their retirement. And like I say, do they got control over their accounts? I mean, you get paperwork every once in a while from the Social Security office saying, hey, you have this much money in there, right? We're $38 trillion in debt. Do you think this government's got any real money in any account? Okay. LOL, 84 views, 6 likes. Yeah, well, it's, the channel's growing slow, okay? I got over 500,000 views, but, YouTube doesn't really like my channel because exactly. I mean, that short I put out about Social Security and, digital currency, where the government has control of your financial accounts, and they won't play that. It's amazing. It's amazing. But I could sit here, be out here and in a dress, put makeup on, making myself look all stupid, and they would just be pushing that left and right. But I tell you what, the reason I'm on YouTube is to meet people that don't agree with me. So maybe they can get a different perspective instead of listening to the news and stuff. Everybody has a right to your opinion, but when I was growing up, facts were facts. Facts were, if you got a little ding-a-ling between your legs, you're a guy. If you don't, you're a girl. See, those were facts. Not confused with how people are confused today. And the fact is, with Social Security, Social Security wasn't even mandatory when it first came out. It was voluntary. Voluntary. See, but all they had to do was get their foot in the door. And now it's mandatory, and you ain't getting back what they said you're getting back. This is the thing. All us vets know this because we got lied to when we joined. All this stuff we were promised when we were joined, it's a bunch of shit. Got to fill out paperwork. It can still get denied. Now, they can't deny you Social Security, but I don't understand why the government needs withdrawal control over your financial accounts. I mean, what other, retirement plan company do they have complete control of your money, where if you tell them I want to take it out or I want to do this with it, they tell you no? This is the thing with Social Security. When you pay in, you should have a choice when you turn 65. I want a lump sum payment, or you want to sit there and stretch it out. The government would never go for that, would they? Because they're too busy giving lump sum payments to people that definitely don't deserve it, or countries that don't deserve it, off our dime. Anyway, I'm trying to warn people about digital currency because I was listening to a show on AM radio in the middle of the night 27 years ago called Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell, and then George Norrie took over when he retired. But back in 2004, I was hearing guests come on talk about digital currency. This was 21 years ago, and telling about the dangers of it. And now people, like I say, we're so far in debt, they're going to be welcoming it on. Just like crime is so bad. Hey, let's get the military in. Everybody's hoorahing that. The government creates the situation, the bad situation, to come up with the solution. And since they allow crime to get so bad, now we got to have military in the streets and everybody's hoorahing that. Just like when they collapse our dollar completely, then everybody will be hoorahing the digital currency. Just like after 9/11, everybody was hoorahing the Patriot Act. You see how the government works? It never changes its tactics. Ever. Anyway, I know I'm not going to sit there and apply for Social Security. I don't care how much of my money they have. They don't have none of my money anyway. It's already been given to somebody that took too many pharmaceuticals as a kid because they were pushed on them, and now they can't function as an adult, so they're rating Social Security. I sure wish the pharmaceutical companies would have to pay for that bill. But oh yeah. Hey, I appreciate everybody being here. If you hit that thumbs up and subscribe and the bell notification, I appreciate it. Help channel grow. Like I said, I'm not infomercial. I don't sell anything. I don't ask for donations. The truth should not cost anybody anything. Okay? And our government, you're paying for a bunch of lies. We all go to work every day to sit there and give the government money so they can just screw us over and lie to us. It's amazing. What you would never let your neighbor do to you, your government can walk into your house and do it, and you won't do a damn thing to stop it. But I tell you what, anybody out there, watch my video, my live stream I did on a defeatist attitude, a Marine's perspective. Okay, if you want to understand what a drill instructor's like when he's yelling and stuff, you'll like that. Yell for about 50 minutes straight. That's pretty upset. Because all these people that say, we can't do nothing about it, we just got to accept it the way it is and shit. That's bullshit, people. That's bullshit. We can do everything about it. People have just been convinced that, what Biden say? You ain't going to take over the governments with your AR-15s unless you got nuclear weapons, Hellfire missiles, and F-15s. I mean, we live in a country now where the president's allowed to threaten people because they disagree with them. One thing about our founding fathers, they always wanted the patriot mindset to be strong in this country. That way the people that are running this country always had to fear whether they're going to have a patriot making sure they're not watering the tree of liberty with the blood of tyrants. But anyway, this digital currency, you don't want the government in your bank account. Anybody who is on Social Security will tell you that. You don't want the government in your wallet. I mean, digital currency, how are you going to have a garage sale? There's going to be a lot of bartering going on. But see, they want to account for every dime because these number crunchers in D.C. that do the tax revenue are crunching the numbers and seeing how much money that they really aren't getting because, people like me, I'll sit there and instead of exchanging money, we'll exchange, hey, you do this for me and I'll do that for you type of thing. They're going to get rid of all that. Oh, yeah. And then helping people, how far this is going to go? Everybody thinks, oh, wouldn't it be cool if you could just put your stuff in your cart and walk through the door and everything, boom, and it spit out your receipt, right? But you realize every item that you bought, that specific pound of hamburger or whatever will be tracked to you specifically on that code. So if you try to give it to somebody to help them out, especially when they go to rationing, that's another thing. Digital currency. You have 1 million credits, because I won't call them dollars, right? And you want to go buy that 1 pound of hamburger, 1 more pound of hamburger, but purchase got denied because you already got your monthly ration of hamburger. Isn't that what Social Security people go through with Medicaid, with their medical and stuff? They track you for sure. Big warehouse like Sam's Club does. Yeah, they all do. I can all be tracked now. These codes, and it can, like I say, that pound of hamburger got paid by your credit card. So that pound of hamburger is attached, that package of hamburger is attached to you. And if it ends up where they go to somebody else's freezer and it's in somebody else's freezer, you're in a lot of trouble. You see how crazy it's going to get? You got Beto O'Rourke out there. We want more Democrats. We want more control. Hell yeah, I'm going to take you AR-15. You know, does any of these politicians ever read the Constitution? Hey, Strictly Cycling, how's it going? Our smartphones are tracking our device. Yeah, I was driving down the interstate once, right? And I had my phone in my lap. And I was talking to the guy in the passenger seat. And my phone wasn't turned on. I hadn't used it for at least an hour, right? And all my phone goes, I did not understand what you say. Could you say that again? And I'm like, really? And it's amazing how sometimes where I'll turn my phone on and all of a sudden my camera will come up, right? Not even having to press my code in, but my camera's on, videotaping everything. Really, how does that happen? Yeah, when they start tracking everything, buddy, when it's even in your wallet and they can sit there and track down everything you bought to make sure it's at your house, it's all about control, people. And they can't get enough control over us. They are just crazy bound to know every little thing about you. Now, cell phones are a good thing. Everything they added to them to spy on us is bad. Like I say, cell phones, you're buying new appliances, they got mics in, okay, listening to you. Lamps, listening to you. TVs, listening to you and watching you. Heck, Skechers shoes. Anybody hear the new commercial about Skechers shoes? Where they got tracking devices in the shoes so you can always know where your kids are at? Doesn't help anybody from being abducted now, does it? They sure can't track them kids. Maybe we should put Skechers on all our kids. Require it. That way when a kid disappears because the trafficking ring that doesn't exist worldwide, that caters to rich and elites, that lists that don't exist, we can find those children. Maybe we'll even figure out where Epstein Island is. None of them ever said that island doesn't exist. I want to know which country has a jurisdiction over that island, and why don't they send the Marines in? We can send the National Guard into D.C. to clamp down on crime, but we can't send the Marines into Epstein Island to save the children. At least we know where our politicians' priorities are. And like I say, Trump, you got the National Guard in D.C., 4,000 troops now, I hear. How about draining the swamp right away? And if that includes you, I don't know what to tell you. We can always hold another election. We can hold a special election for the whole United States if all of Washington, D.C. gets cleared out and sent into a prison. That's what happens when you break the law. Anyway, but now they want to control. They get to where they can control your money. Strictly Cycling. Robin, problem is today, if you don't have a smartphone, you get left behind. Yeah. An email. Okay, an email is like Social Security number. You're not, by law, required to have a Social Security number, but you can't get a job without it. If you don't have an email, you can't get a job because on the application, your email, because all through email. So they're not gonna pass a law. They're just gonna make it impossible for you to do it without it. Yeah, they've been doing that for a long time too. And people just keep falling for it. This is what I don't understand. Haven't people had enough? Look at me out here. Okay? You see this? You see why I got a sense of freedom? You see why I got a sense of I ain't going to let somebody in Washington, D.C., especially a beta male like Beto O'Rourke, tell me what to do? Or anybody in New York or California? Are you out of your mind? This is what these people don't understand. You know, you get a different mindset out here. You're independent. And you're not going to be controlled by anybody. Okay? We don't need other people to survive out here. Okay? We learn how to survive on our own. But anyway, yeah, that's what I live in. And this is a populated area compared to what I used to live in, okay? You know, this county has less than 2 people. The county I came from had less than 1,000 people. We're flyover country here, buddy. Flyover country. They don't care enough about us. There's not enough votes in this area to move the election one way or the other. But you know what? There will be a hell of a lot of resistance from this area if they decide that they're going to try to mess with us. Anyway, but digital currency, just another way to absolutely make us slaves. I mean, when you're not even in control of your wallet or your bank account anymore, or you got to worry about, well, like I say, I want to purchase this ammo. No, you can't. I want to purchase this extra pound of hamburger. No, you can't. But don't worry, any donations you want to give to the government or stuff you want to spend on school supplies or I don't know. And then government-run grocery stores. There'll be a lot of empty shelves. And the shelves that have stuff in it will be full of stuff that they want you to have, but you don't want to have. So you have the choice to either do what they do or nothing. Anyway, I appreciate everybody being here. If you'd help support the channel, hit the thumbs up, the subscribe, and the bell notification, because I'm not an infomercial. I don't sell coffee or T-shirts or nothing like that. I do get T-shirts made up, but I pay for them and I send them out to my moderators. Watch Strictly Cycling, they're on the way. So anyway, I got SC on yours, so I hope that's good. But anyway, the truth shouldn't cost anybody anything. Or like I say, I need to get it out. I can't, sit idly by out here. It's easy to just forget about what other people in this country are going through. And as a caring human being, it's hard for me to watch even the ones in the city that are mentally lost. They're in mental anguish and nobody's helping them. Nobody's helping them. Oh, here, give them some more drugs. Big cities are really becoming bad. Somebody in the big city would come out here, they'd just be like, no way. Like, I can play my music as loud as I want out here. If I want, I can get run outside naked as a jaybird. Ride my horse anywhere. We are Israeli sheep. Yeah, like I say, I made a video if you want to check out my shorts about the list, okay? Yeah, Netanyahu's got that list, and he's using it better than old Epstein ever did. Okay, so you got the puppeteer, who we can see who that is, and you can see the strings, and the people that are the puppets are the ones on the list, and you can see who they are. When you got Democrats and Republicans, just watching each other's backs better than they're watching our backs. Anyway, if you read the Constitution, if they would read it and everybody would read it, you'd see how they are not following it. You are seeing how they are making stuff up. Like I say, they are supposed, every once in a while, they are supposed to release on how all there, I got it out, public funds, taxes are spent. All of it. Do you think we'd be $38 trillion in debt if they did that? Like I say, the last time that probably happened when was Teddy Roosevelt was in office, before the Federal Reserve. What do? You know, like I said, I took an oath to the Constitution. I know what I got to do. I'm not saying the average civilian has to sit there and worry about that. We got enough vets out here to take our country back where they're protected. But whatever. Still got to have the will to do it, people. We can have the Second Amendment, which is a tool to take our country back. You can have that patriot spirit, but you still got to have the will to do it. You know, we're already justified. I'm black. Am I accepted? Of course you're accepted here. Okay. I'm sorry. My intelligence level is... Dude, tell me, like I say, what race, nationality, gender group, or whatever is perfect? Tell me which one. Because I know it's not the white race. I know it's not the black race. I know it's not the anybody from Europe or Asia or any transgender, what you do in your bedroom. They're all evil. You got good ones and you got bad ones. I mean, if I were, I can't get myself to lower my intelligence level enough to hate somebody because of their skin color. You know what I was, in the Marine Corps? To get rid of the racial shit right away, you're all green. You're either a dark green or a light green. They ended that shit real quick. All this division about what color you are. My God. Does that mean if I'm a certain color, I got to accept a certain culture? You know what culture I like the best? The Native American culture. Does that mean I got to be an Indian to like to be a... Fucking stupid. This is what our politicians are doing. Brainwashing people beyond belief. Not bringing us together at all. And like I say, it's worked so well that now we got the militaries in the streets in D.C. and people are going, yay! Are you freaking kidding me? I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on. You should see the dangers of this. Mega Republicans lash out as Trump delays release of Epstein files. Republicans, members in Congress are pissed and demand to know exactly. Yeah. Well, I know where the files are at. Netanyahu's got them. You know, he came to D.C. that Wednesday and Thursday, left that Thursday night, and Friday Trump came out and said the list don't exist. Well, hell yeah, I know where it went to. But what do we do? Like I say, this Marine knows what to do. The Declaration of Independence tells us, charges us, give us the duty to do it. Everybody know what that is? Oh, that's to throw off this fucked up government and replace it with new guards for our future security. Yeah, that's what needs to happen. This is the way it is. Like I say, he's not using the National Guard to drain the swamp. Why didn't he do that in 2017? Bring the Guard in to drain the swamp. Wouldn't that have been nice? That would have been something great. But nope. But we got to make sure that petty criminal on the street doing whatever can't get, this is only a city for big criminals. And then he's going to get rid of the homeless. I was in D.C. in the late 80s. I saw the homeless in the parks sleeping on the steam grates and stuff. Oh, yeah. People in the White House could just look across Pennsylvania Avenue and see the homeless. But Trump wants to get rid of that because he wants to have his new green zone where he don't have to see what the politicians are doing to America. Just like Hitler. Pull the curtains down in his train carriage as he's going through the bombed out cities so he didn't have to see them. What's that? I mean, they actually got a conscience, maybe? I'm not sure. But anyway, 1776 USA. You goddamn right, this Marine is so... Oh. I mean, all they did was sent us overseas to fight. The enemy, overseas. Now we got the enemy here, and this Marine can see the enemy. And now I ain't got to get on a ship and go overseas to fight them or an airplane. They're everywhere, people. Everywhere. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. Anyway, appreciate everybody being here. If you want to support the channel, hit that thumbs up, that subscribe and bell notification to help me get the word out, because our politicians don't want to hear this stuff. They don't want us bonding together. They don't want a liberal Democrat coming to my channel and saying, yeah, I don't agree with a lot of he says, but he does say something that I should have the right to do what I want. I should have the right the rights God gave us, and I'm sick of this government lying its ass off to me. That's all they do. Lie and lie and lie and lie. To where it's just so obvious. I mean, how do you run your campaign on? And this is 2019 when Epstein got arrested. So Trump had the evidence for a year and a half while he was still president, and then ran on it that he was going to release it. Why didn't he release it right away? But anyway, and then it don't exist. And then these mega artists are, well, he didn't really say that. Well, he did say he was going to drain the swamp. And I did watch the debate where he pointed at Hillary Clinton and said, you're going to jail if I get elected. Now, that's kind of a bold statement, meaning she never had a trial. But she never did go to trial, now did she? I don't believe criminals from any party should get a free pass. They should be punished worse. If you're in a position of public trust and you go against the public trust, you should be definitely punished harder than the other person. That's just the way it should be. I mean, they're making decisions that our lives depend on. And they're making decisions, especially like say, how do they all become so rich so quick? Or not Omar, but AOC. I mean, really? From a bartender to what she is now? But Epstein's still the best. Epstein is still the best investor and everything, because he went from a high school, history teacher or whatever, or some English teacher, to a billionaire with no business. Like I say, billions of dollars in cash residency, and the cops, the investigators, can't follow the money. Okay, I thought that's how you solve crimes, by following the money. This is just the world we live in. And they expect us to swallow it, okay? I'm not swallowing it no more, okay? No way. Like I say, I had that video where that live I did, I've had enough. I don't let criminals and liars and thieves and all that stuff dictate the rules of my life. I dictate the rules of my life. I don't disrespect people. I don't hurt people. I work hard. I try to improve my community and in my country. But it's hard these days to try to improve your country when you got the ones in DC that are trying to destroy it so bad. But anyway, who's the criminal? Well, I don't know how many people are in DC. We'll start with Justice. I don't know. You name it. And that's just our country. Now we can go into other countries all over the world. Except I know who isn't on the list. I know Putin's not on the list. I know Xi Jinping's not on the list. I know Kim Jong-un is not on the list. What have they all got in common? Anyway, I'm going to end on that note. Appreciate everybody being here. But free America, exactly. And this is the thing, people. A lot of citizens around the world, because the United States causes a lot of problems for a lot of people in a lot of different countries. And they're looking at us Americans, especially if they read the Declaration of Independence with the Second Amendment, and being like, what the hell is wrong with you people? We save the United States. We save the world. They want to sit there, they canceled the USEV money, and look at 300 million people all over the world have died. Okay, if the American people are responsible for everybody's welfare, then it's time to take a country back so we can make sure that they got a good life ahead of them. Okay, I don't believe. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. You're right. The rest of the world's hurt because the United States is run by criminals. And the criminals in Israel are pulling the strings. I was in Israel in 1987. Spent my 20th birthday there. And, you know, as a Marine, it was a good time, in a way, I guess you could say. But it's definitely not the country that it is now. It was hijacked just like our country was, okay? But we can always take it back. We can take it back. There's more of us. You got 25% liberal Democrats. You got 25% mega Republicans that won't listen to shit. So you got us 50% in the middle that are Democrats, Republicans, Americans, independents, whatever, that have had enough. We just need to do something about it, people. We're all going to suffer. And if we don't put an end to this shit, that means just our future. If you have kids and grandkids, can you honestly look at them? I mean, when you have kids, all you do is try to, make it so they're not hurting too much, but they become productive adults, and definitely you don't want people causing harm to them. It's not about us old people no more, people, okay? We need to leave a better world and a better country for the generations after us, just like the country we inherited from our parents and our grandparents. Our children aren't going to inherit that world unless we do something about it. Okay? I don't want to fight, but when does a tyrant stop? And let's say Trump isn't the tyrant. The government monster they created is the tyrant. It just has somebody new at the head every once in a while. Okay? Anyway, everybody have a great evening. Yeah, I kind of went off the digital currency and Social Security, but like I say, digital currency, government becomes your primary signature in your bank account, you become secondary, just like Social Security is now, right? You're forced to put money in, deposit money into your Social Security account, but the government gets to control the withdrawals. Kind of a messed up situation, people. But anyway, I got stuff to do tonight. I got to get rolling. And I will see you guys again tomorrow night. And we'll see what happens then. More crazy and more crazy every darn damn day. Hold on tight, people. It's just going to get worse. And like I say, nobody's going to get unscathed from feeling the pain when this country's got to correct itself. Okay? Anyway, everybody have a great night. This is Tom with the Hidden Truths channel. I'm out of here.